Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. There is so much going on here. I'm in the middle of the 5-day self-liberation challenge. After this week, you will be able to purchase the recordings of this challenge and get the workbook and go through this on your own time whenever you want. So if you're interested, let me know about that. Also, tomorrow I have a workshop on dealing with mixed feelings when, for example, one of you really hates your job and the other part is super afraid to leave it. We all get in these places where we have super mixed feelings. And the type of coaching I do is uniquely well positioned to help with that. I will drop a link to that down below. And then 2 weeks from yesterday, Let's Talk About Sex goes live. That is a 4-day workshop that I'm co-facilitating with my friend and coach colleague Monique Salazar, who does a lot of work with helping women over 35 regain confidence in their body and feel empowered about their bodies physically and sexually. So there's a lot happening. There's just one thing after the other, and it's super exciting. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm also participating in the Love Unblocked Summit that starts mid-September. Lots of stuff going on. So I'm going to try to remember to put some links to all that stuff below in the comments when I'm done recording. Without much further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop into what the whole concept of unburdening might look like. So I talk about IFS a lot, and IFS stands for Internal Family Systems, and it's a perspective of the mind that talks about all people as having core self-energy or access to this amazing flow of calm, clarity, courage, confidence, and other of the 8 C words, where we're really spacious and sort of in charge of ourselves. And then we also have a bunch of parts. We have parts that carry a lot of burdens from past wounds that everybody gets just as part of showing up as a human. And those are called exiles. And then we have protectors that want to protect those exiles. And those come in the form of managers who typically manage our day-to-day, and then firefighters who come on the scene when we're overwhelmed with a threat. And I've talked a lot about how that looks when you're dealing with a burdened system, a system that's still carrying the weight of the hurts from the past. And through the course of IFS coaching, where I typically start with people is just helping people get to self-energy as a first step. Everybody has self-energy at their core, and I know many different techniques for accessing self-energy so that you can bring that calm, clarity, confidence, and courage to as many moments as possible. And I want to say, self-leadership is what I work on no matter what the coaching topic, whether it's in your profession or in your personal life or about dating. The goal is to become more self-led. And that doesn't mean that all the rest of your parts ever go away. They stay there. All of your parts stay. They're all super important. We were born with multiplicity. We stay multiple throughout our whole lives, and we die that way. Multiplicity is just a fact of the human psyche, and every psychology throughout history has really identified or acknowledged that there are many aspects to being a human. We kind of know this. The goal of the coaching I do is never to get rid of parts, never to get rid of firefighters or exiles or managers, nor is it to really kind of find workarounds. Although the first step is really increase the ability to access self-energy under a variety of even stressful situations where managers or firefighters might step in. That all by itself really helps with self-leadership, because your whole psyche then starts to trust your ability to find your inner compass, to get back to your navigational equipment, to find your way to calm, confidence, and clarity. And that's not the end of the story. And now that I am a level 1 practitioner, I can actually take that journey a step further if people want. Just getting self-led is super important. Just getting access to self is super helpful and moves people towards their coaching goals. And every now and then it appears that there are some exiles or some tender burdens that are being carried within a person's heart, when their psyche, however you want to look at that. And we can do some work to unburden that part of a person's system. And what does that look like? So if you do that work of generating access to self-energy, bringing self-energy to struggling parts. And then those parts trust self-energy enough to let go of their burdens, to let go of the pain that they're carrying, and to welcome in their gifts. What could be the benefit? And I really want to talk about this today so that you have a sense of absolutely the highest goal that you can experience through working with an IFS approach in coaching towards your coaching goals. And what you find first and foremost is that the exiles get burdened. And that is really who's carrying the burden. The parts of us that we really don't acknowledge, that carry painful experiences, overwhelming experiences, traumas, hurt feelings, somebody who made fun of us when we were in second grade, our parents being too busy to spend time with us because they were working, whatever the issues were. They can be large and small, but our heart carries some heaviness about it. And when those exiles are ready, when you have really demonstrated the ability to show up with self-energy consistently enough that those exiles are ready to hand their burdens over and let go of them, they don't go away. Instead, they bring their gifts to you, and they have numerous gifts. These are the parts that are tender and sensitive, but they're also open and curious and playful. They're very warm and inviting. So where you might have some parts that are carrying burdens that felt, for example, unloved, which is not at all uncommon for people to be carrying, when those exiles can let go of that burden of believing that they're not lovable, they know they're lovable. They become trusting and warm. They're able to form connections with other people. They're tender and playful and very endearing to be around and very endearing to experience within your own being. And as those burdens release from the exiles, the managers and the firefighters don't have to work so hard, which is great for them, because a lot of times those managers and firefighters, that wound happened when you were like 4 or 5 or 6. Those managers and firefighters are 4 or 5 or 6. They're really young, and they're doing these like high-powered job of managing your life, which is super hard in a burdened system. And they can be a little rigid about it. They can be a little extreme about it. And when their burdens are released, those parts can come back from their extreme positions. And what they do as manager, we're going to start with managers, is that they're going to take a different approach to daily responsibilities. They're going to be more balanced in their approach. They're going to be a little bit less driven and pounding and striving. They're going to be less graspy. They're going to have a kind of confidence that doesn't rub people the wrong way or push people away. They're going to be able to cooperate with other people. They're going to express themselves with clarity. And they're going to have not judgment of other people or judgment of you, but they're going to be very discerning. They're going to have wise discernment about what course of action is good for you and for the system as a whole. They're going to be helpful. So they're going to be able to discern what they want to contribute to other people. And they'll be very creative in their approach, not only to navigating daily life, but to solving problems that come up. They're going to absorb, in other words, and they're going to generate and feel that self-energy as it relates to a lot of manager tasks. They're going to be great advocates. They're going to be really wonderful at organizing things and keeping things balanced. It's a beautiful thing when those managers are not really trying to protect a burdened system anymore, and they're able to function in the freedom and spaciousness of self-energy. So what about firefighters? And those are the parts that can be kind of extreme. They can start off as, they can be small things that tune you out, make you watch TV, eat too much, all the way to extreme things like binge drinking, self-harm, etc. And when those parts aren't so burdened with exiles that are tender and carrying a lot of pain, they are able to significantly alter how they do business. And we can work on this actually pretty early on through the coaching process. As you get more self-energy and more access to it, you can work with those firefighters to tell you directly when things are stressful and you need to use some soothing tools or some calming tools. And they're really effective at it. And as the exiles get unburdened, the firefighters get even more effective at their job because there are fewer emergencies for them to manage. They're more inclined to take healthy risks. So our firefighters can, despite the fact that they want to keep our exiles safe, they're also the kinds of parts that really encourage us to take risks sometimes as a distraction from the stress that we're under. They are sort of into risky behaviors. And that can be rerouted when the system's less burdened. Those risks are more calculated. They're kind of healthier. Like, so instead of the risk of self-injury or drinking and driving, it might be the risk of taking a skydiving lesson or taking the risk of taking a cooking class, which is even less risky, but could feel risky for some people. They're definitely the kinds of parts who are going to stand up for your boundaries. They're going to advocate for fairness. They're going to make sure that you don't get mistreated. So it's not the case at all that when you go through this unburdening process and you work to become calm, clear, compassionate, and courageous, that you're not going to have boundaries, that you're going to be a doormat. You're going to be able to stand up for yourself, but you're going to do it in a way that is really balanced and calm and in the moment. I know we've all had these times where we're maybe overly preoccupied with our people-pleasing parts or trying to get along with somebody. And then after the fact, we think, oh, I wish I would have said this, or I wish I would have done that. We've all been in those times. And sometimes we look back on that with a lot of regret, because our firefighters often behave in unproductive ways, and they often don't protect us as much as they intend. But when we have an unburdened system and we're not, having exiles popping up and sending firefighters into tailspins, they're able to give a lot of courage and a lot of clarity about boundaries in that moment. They are very fluidly able to say, hey, this thing that's happening right here, not okay. And they're very confident about setting those boundaries and acting bravely, even when things are challenging for them. So this is what it can look like to have an unburdened system and to have burdens be released through an IFS process. And I'm bringing this up. This is never the full goal or the first goal of IFS coaching, but what I have come to discover and why I pursued level 1 training ultimately is because in my coaching work with clients, just the whole fact that I help people generate a super highway to self-energy, like that's what we work on, is really getting that super highway to access self-energy so that when they get triggered, they really easily come back to self. Getting access to that has brought up for many of my clients instances where their exiles are spontaneously ready to hand back the burden, or to hand off the burden, or release it and welcome in new strengths, new aspects of their personality, and function differently. And now that I am a level 1 practitioner, I am really excited about the possibility, and my deep hope is that I will get a group of women together who are interested in doing some of this work in a group setting. I do have 2 additional seats remaining for private clients, but I'm really looking forward to getting a group, because what I found in my mindful dating group is the group is the secret sauce to the effectiveness of everything. So I have a back end. It's very much like a course. There's a lot of teaching. I share my expertise there. I provide a lot of support through asynchronous coaching by written and verbal feedback to different assignments that people turn in, their self-reflective exercises. But the group is amazing. The group is a place where people are learning from each other. They're able to practice the skills that they're learning, and they get a lot of support from one another. And since people come in at slightly different times or places, you see from the beginning what's possible, because you can see where people have arrived at. And then as you go through the group, you're able to lend your experience and expertise to someone else, which helps you sort of solidify your own gains in coaching. So if that's something that interests you, I would love if you would just message me right here on Facebook, or drop the comment "interested" down below, and I will put your name on a list. I'm gathering a list of maybe 6 to 8 women, and then we'll set about the task of seeing if we can find a time to schedule. And if you're so interested that you want to get started right away, we can get started with you as the inaugural member of the group and work our way to including other group members. So that is an option I want to put out there. And then if you're interested in private coaching, please reach out for a clarity call, and I will put that link below as well. I am so curious to hear if the idea of an unburdened system with managers that are really balanced and able to navigate your daily life with ease, flow, and balance, and firefighters who are able to set boundaries like courageously, but also compassionately, sounds like something you'd be interested in. I hope this has been helpful. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Bye.